to the Legacy of Nerd, and today I'm here with the Countdown City Geeks, and we have a wonderful event coming up calling Friends to the End Festival here in San Antonio, Texas, at Wonderland Mall, March 4th and 5th, Saturday and Sunday. And we have two wonderful guests who will be here, legends themselves from the Child's Play Chucky franchise. We have Alex Vincent, aka Andy Barkley, and we got Miss Christine Elise, aka Kyle. Thank you for coming.
Hi.
Thank you for letting me talk to you guys. I really appreciate it.
No, happy to
Our
be here.
pleasure.
So, on a personal level, Child's Play is horrifying to me. It is one of those. Still, I still have nightmares from time to time with Chucky, and it's also just fascinating. It's one of those. It's probably the only horror thing that I actually follow. I don't follow Jason, Freddy, or anything, but Child's Play is the one that I follow. So, you guys, thank you for being part of my fandom.
Our pleasure.
Yeah.
So that means you've watched both seasons of the show.
I have.
Okay.
I have watched both seasons of the show, and I've even read some of the comics as well.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So first question for you guys is Child's Play is going on, it's about 35 years now, and it's still relevant. The characters are still relevant. It's still going strong. What do you guys think about that?
I think that has a lot to do with Don for sure, and his commitment to this story and this franchise and this family. It has a lot to do, obviously, with Brad, and the writing for Chucky. Chucky is more than just a terrifying monster. He's charming and he's funny and he's witty, and I think people connected with him, and they continue to, especially because the story's gone in so many different directions over the years.
It's definitely evolved in different ways. Ms. Christine?
Yeah, I know. I think that's the answer to the question. It's Dawn and it's Brad. Dawn's ability to be flexible as the times they are changing and things become in vogue, like self-referential comedy, like after Scream, and how Dawn carried Chucky in the comedy era through Bride and Seed, and then came back to sort of the goth horror with Curse, and old school Don Mancini. Like he's just really nimble and able to keep a lot of balls in the air at the same time and keep these really wacky, divergent characters and stories still all active together, which is only a genius
For sure.
could do such a thing. Who would think that you could make, Child's Play 1, work into the Bride and Seed and come back into the show and have a whole bunch of little middle schoolers and the thread is still there and it still makes sense.
Yeah, and it still has a horror element to it as well, which we kind of lost a little bit in Seed and Bride, but it's definitely. I remember watching The Curse of Chucky, and I was like, "This is scary again." Like this kind of has a horror back in it, and it definitely brought me back to the franchise as well.
By the way, I don't want to. No one's shit talking Bride and Seed. By the way, this is not what's going on. Everyone loves Bride. Well, most people love Bride. And Seed sometimes doesn't get the love I think it deserves. Maybe a bit ahead of its time at the time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But if you watch it now, it holds up very, very well, and I think you see where Don's head was ahead of us.
And it brought that comedy aspect of it more into it. We still got the horror and the gore, and definitely.
And you got Jennifer Tilly.
Jennifer Tilly, and you marked all the boxes there. I think it's just this kind of these newer films and the newer series is just, it feels like it's next level.
Yeah.
Like this is where it led to. This was the goal here.
I like that. Thank you.
This is really relevant to both of you guys, but what made you both want to return 20 years later? You, sir, were much younger, and so were you. You were a little kid. Yeah, but he was 7. I think we were the same age at the same time. So, what made you guys return so many years later to Chucky?
Well, after the first 2 films, when part 3 went a different way, my character, a different actor, I figured that was kind of it. And I watched Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky happen from a distance. And then I reconnected with Don. And I guess it was around 2010, maybe. And we just started talking every now and then. And he knew that I would really love to be a part of this again. Curse of Chucky was not a guarantee. We didn't know that was going to happen when it was in development and he was getting closer to doing it. He reached out and asked me if I would want to be a part of it, and it was a no-brainer. Of course, I wanted to be a part of it since I wasn't in part 3 in
Yeah.
1990. So yeah, it was a thrilling opportunity to do it, and something I'm super grateful for.
That's awesome.
Sort of the same. Like no one wants to be not part of it. Like that not part of it was a sad a sad part of
Yeah.
you know.
Okay.
I was also really disappointed that Kyle wasn't in 3 and didn't ever imagine she would find her way back in. Dawn also reached out to me. I had actually known Dawn in the intervening years because I was older. I was 26. I was 24 when I did Child's Play 2, and Dawn was 26. So I've known Dawn like most of our adult lives, and we see each other socially. And I know Jennifer, separate from the franchise, we and met her before either of us were a Chucky person. So I'd see them in my real life, and so they're always sort of drifting around in my social world. And he reached out to me for Curse 2 for a different character. Would you play a different character than Kyle? And I was like, of course, I'll do anything. Have me back. And it didn't work for reasons that aren't important, but reasons that are very I'm grateful for, because had I come back as this other character, I don't know that Kyle could have found a way back in if I had ever played somebody different.
Yeah.
So that's just the universe saying, no, let it pan out the way it's supposed to pan out. And I think it did. I think that if Child's Play 3 had been the movie that you and I maybe anticipated it being, that might have been the end of Andy and Kyle. And so because it didn't happen that way, here we are sitting pretty.
And it appears like Don is definitely reusing his actors in different ways. We've seen Devon Sawa be 3 different characters now. Granted, it was
killing
twins.
Devon Sawa.
Yeah.
Dawn seems to really like killing.
Yeah.
That third one in season 2 was that was extra for sure.
Yeah.
He went all out for
true.
that one.
Indeed.
So both of y'all's characters have changed a lot from the Child's Play movies to now the Chucky movies. Yours especially going to like a survivalist planner, always ready for something to happen, and Kyle as well. Did you guys have to bring anything different to that as an actor, or did Don actually let you have any input on your characters?
Yeah, Don has always listened to my thoughts. He does what he does. I would never question it, obviously. But yeah, he's let me have a little bit of a say in what would happen with Andy. And I think the direction from a, psychological standpoint of what Andy's been through, I think it plays appropriately.
There's a lot of trauma.
Yeah, he has a lot of trauma in his life. So I think the direction he went is exactly, had I been the one to write the show, I think the overall tone of Andy would be exactly where he is.
That's awesome. And you, Miss Christine?
Yeah, I was just afraid he would make her like a soccer mom or something and have her not be badass anymore. And I said that she should be like some, ninja assassin, which she sort of kind of is,
You kind of like the Men in Black, except for Chucky.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know that my saying that had any impact. Maybe I don't know where Don's head was, but I said, just don't make her a soccer mom. She should be a badass ninja, and she kind of, sort of is. So, but I'm not taking credit for Don's stuff. I don't know how they could have kept her in the fray if she'd become sort of.
Yeah.
I don't know how anybody that has gone through the reality of knowing that Chucky's a real thing and people died, how you would ever go back to a real life from that either. Yeah. So I think it's realistic that how it's panned out.
That's awesome. My next question, which I'm sure a lot of people have thought about and I'm sure a couple have asked, but Don calls you both and says, Alex, you can write any story you want. Christine, you can write any story you want. You get a limited episode, you get a movie, whatever. What would you guys do?
You don't have enough time for that answer.
yeah, you really don't. Yeah, I honestly, the truth is though, really, that call's never not going to happen. So I don't think about it that way.
Okay.
I enjoy kind of being an audience member to the extent that I can be with this, especially with the TV series, which of course I read all the scripts, but after reading them once, I kind of let myself forget it and be an audience member. And I answer it that way just because I love seeing what he does. I would never want to ever assume that I could do something better, really.
Okay.
I like to give thoughts when I have them, and we've used a lot of them. But yeah, that's not something that I really go through. I
Okay.
I could, for the fun of it, have share plenty of ideas with you, but I don't really feel like it's fair for me to do that.
Plus, we don't want to ruin season 3, possibly.
You never know.
No, we don't even know what's happening in season 3.
Yeah.
He really does have infinity of ideas. I don't. I'm a writer. We're both writers, and I have written things, but I'm primarily identify as an actor. And so when I'm in the Chucky universe, he's much more thinking like, "Ooh, what about this? What about this?" And I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, like a drone, like whatever Don says, I'm gonna do it. Like I don't have any creative. It's weird actually how like oh, I just go along with it. Yeah, I don't fuck it. I don't fuck with it. I trust it, and not that he's not fucking with it, not trusting it either. He's just got much more sort of.
I do think about the story a lot.
And it's been in his blood since he was 6 years old.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
and
makes sense.
he's got a very different relationship with the entire
Yeah.
franchise than I do, and I think it manifests that way,
Sure.
where you feel much more like, you know,
Absolutely.
than I do.
Yeah.
So, last question about the series, season 2. You guys had the finale. You guys kind of had a moment there at the end. I'm not going to spoil it too much. Please.
Oh,
watch
for Christ's sake! You
it.
should have watched it
It's
by
their
now.
fault. It's their fault at this point.
Okay, so you guys think you got the kill, right? And then you guys are sitting there and you're like, we can like finally live. And they kind of go back to Child's Play 2 with you guys walking out the factory. And I thought for a second, I was like, is this Andy and Kyle's like swan song? Like, is this them going out?
Maybe it is.
Could be.
Maybe it is. You know, if Chucky's still alive, I would say Andy's pretty obsessed with this at this point. So, and Andy and Kyle both have kind of a sixth sense of what's going on. We know things.
Yeah, that's true.
So I would like to hope that it's not the total end of Andy and Kyle. If it were, though, I do think it was beautifully done.
It was a good.
So,
if it is the end, like that was a good send off.
The sentiment of it is really good. That you know, these are people that wish they could get on with their lives. Our dialogue reflected that. But you know, Chucky always comes back.
I know, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Chucky always comes back.
He always comes back, and I have to also hope. I mean, not that I want Kyle or Andy ever to actually die, but I can't imagine Dom would ever. I mean, the fact is, season 3, season 4, who knows what's like. And then it could evolve. The show were to stop. It could be. Doesn't mean Don's not done.
No.
We don't know.
Like look how long it took us to come back the first time around.
Yeah,
you know.
that's true.
Yeah.
So just because you're maybe gone for a bit, don't
Yeah, I mean,
don't put a bow on that package.
I'd rather it be left, at least for now, with us walking out the way we did.
Yeah.
Than Chucky ever killing either of us.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, obviously because I love doing this and we love being
Yeah.
a part of this. But also, I don't want to let that fucker win like that. You know?
Mhm.
So
That's awesome. And I mean, to be fair, season 1 finale, we thought that was done too.
Yeah.
I'm glad to
Yeah.
see you have your ear, by the way.
my leg's feeling better.
That's good. Although you were still like pouncing and jumping, which I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Right?
It's adrenaline.
All flayed.
So you guys actually have a podcast. You kind of just ended your first season of your podcast called Chucky Talks. You guys want to tell the audience a little bit more about that?
The first season, we interviewed a bunch of people from the show, and
we did breakdowns of
we
the
did
episodes.
some breakdowns of the episodes. We talked a lot about, you know, we really loved seeing season 1 come together. It was we knew it was coming. We knew what to expect, sort of, but it was even better than we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what inspired us to want to really talk about it. We were proud to be a part of it. And it was fun. And we got to interview people that are in our lives on a personal level that it would be uncomfortable at dinner to ask them straight up Chucky questions.
Or
Yeah.
Brad, like Brad
Would be
career
we
questions
got
or
to ask
whatever,
Brad
you know.
questions. Yeah, it's a chance to interview Brad and Jennifer and
Everybody.
and everybody on that season was super duper fun.
I would
Yeah.
have so many Exorcist questions for Brad, though.
Yeah.
Like-
But you can't ask him at dinner. It has to be in
Yeah.
sort of a setting like
It was
this,
a
and
good-
so
it was a good opportunity to chat about all the inspiring things that these actors have done.
for sure.
yeah.
I mean, Oscar nominated Jennifer Tilly as well.
Of
2
course.
Oscar nominees, yeah. Brad too.
That's right.
That being said, we produced it ourselves. We edited it ourselves.
It was a
We
2-man
set it
show.
all
It
up
was a 2-man
ourselves.
show.
We asked our friends to sit down for interviews. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
Breaking down the episodes was a lot of work.
He
So
lives in Florida. I live in Los Angeles. We're
right.
never in the same room
Yeah,
together.
it was a big effort. So I don't know if we're gonna do more of it.
Okay.
We might.
Yeah, it's on a hiatus right
It's
now.
kind of
Yeah.
Right now we're just
Enjoying life.
not. Yeah. Well, yeah, we're working, but it's we're not sure if we're gonna do more of it. But you should check it out. Chucky Talks.
And y'all had a Patreon, or did
We
you?
do. We're both on
Both,
Patreon.
yeah, individually, yeah.
We both, have all the social stuff.
Yep.
Awesome.
Instagram.
And where can they find you,
There. Instagram's the best way.
Miss Christine?
Instagram's the best way for me too, unless you're interested in my broader stuff. I wrote a novel. I did a short film, and I have a cooking show on YouTube.
I saw that.
Like 150 episode, a vegan cooking show. So you can go to videovegan.com to see that. The broader way to see my book is bathingbook.com. That gets you all the other things, but Instagram is the best way.
Yeah,
Short.
I mean, I have a recording studio and a website and all kinds of different podcasts we've done. When people write on Instagram, link in bio, actually click that link in people's bio.
Yeah, that's
no
what
one
it
actually
means.
clicks it,
Yeah.
but when you click it, it opens up all
A
the
menu.
things that you do.
I put link in bio,
Yeah.
link in story.
Yeah, it's all there.
They
It's
go,
all
what's
there.
that? The link's not working. No, in the one in
Yeah.
the bio. So yeah, that.
Yeah, all the answers are there.
Well, I appreciate you guys. I thank you so much for joining me today to talking about Chucky and talking about things to come. Again, they will be here in San Antonio at Wonderland Mall of Americas, March 4th and 5th for Friends to the End Festival.
The shirt I'm wearing.
He's got the shirt
That's why
already.
I busted it out. Last time I was in San Antonio, I got this.
That's right. You did a screening here, right?
Well, I've worked with Angel several times.
Awesome.
And he always puts on really good fun events. So
Yeah.
you should definitely come if you're in the area.
He does. He's
And
definitely.
Danielle's here too.
And
Danielle's
shooting,
here, which
Don
will
Gross.
Ted interviewed her with the Countdown City Geeks channel. This will probably be on the Legacy of Nerd and Countdown City Geeks, so make sure to watch out for those. But they'll be here Saturday 11 to 6 and Sunday 12 to 5. Is that correct? Something like that.
Close to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll see you.
Check it
Just
out.
come visit them.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank you guys again. I appreciate you guys,
Thank
and
you, dude.
you have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
night.
You
Thank
too. Come on out.